Welcome to this video. Today I am doing another performance review of the CYBERPOWERPC that I purchased off of Amazon, and there will be a link down below in the notes down in the video description to that computer in case you want to take a look at it and check it out. But we are playing the Division right now to see how well it does or does not perform on this computer, and to give a brief overview of the hardware that's in this computer. It is running the GTX 1060 3GB card from MSI, as well as it has the Intel i7 8700 CPU, that's 6 cores, 12 threads, and it also has 16GB of DDR4 2400 RAM. Now, also, if you look down below in the video description notes, you'll notice some timestamps because I did play this game on different graphic settings, all at 1080p resolution. Right now the footage on your screen is at Ultra with Vsync turned on, but I also played it at Ultra with Vsync turned off, and then I played it at High with Vsync turned on, and then at High with Vsync turned off. So if you want to skip ahead, go down below to the notes, click on the timestamp, and it will skip ahead for you. But in short, if you play this game on this specific hardware at Ultra, it is not going to maintain 60 frames per second at all times. There are going to be multiple occasions where it dips below, and you can confirm that by looking at the performance numbers in the top left corner. The last line in the top left corner, that's the frame rate, and you can see even as of right now it is dipping below 60 frames per second. Ultra is very demanding, and if you look at the performance numbers again in the top left corner, the top line, that is our graphics card. That percentage is the overall usage of the graphics card, and you can see it's at 99% right now. So basically it's using all of this graphics card, all the graphics card's horsepower to generate what you're seeing right now, and it's still not quite enough to maintain 60 frames per second. And so if you drop it down to high, again you'll see this later on in this video footage, and you can skip ahead again if you'd like, but if you drop it down to high, it does fantastic. It'll stay at rock solid 60 frames per second. If you turn Vsync off, it'll even go higher than 60 frames per second. It will average about 70. So, and that's on high detail. Now, part of the limitation is the overall quickness of the graphics card, but it's also the VRAM. That second line down in the top left corner, that's the VRAM usage, and this is the 3GB card, and right now it's at about 2.5, 2.6 of that that it's using. If you had, for example, the RX 580 8GB card or the GTX 1060 6GB card, it will use more VRAM, and so if you had one of those two cards, it would definitely do better at staying close to 60 frames per second. But if you want an absolute guarantee, I would actually recommend the GTX 1070 would be your best option. If you're wanting closer to 100 frames per second, then you might even have to go higher than that. You may have to do a GTX 1070 Ti or possibly even a 1080. So it does get very expensive very quickly. But just to be clear, when I first played this game, I played it on Ultra without the performance number, so I didn't actually know what the frame rate was until later, but I didn't notice that the frame rate was dipping below 60 when I was just playing it without the performance numbers, and I didn't notice any lag or latency issues or response issues. It was very responsive, and it seemed to play very well, and so you could very well still play this on Ultra detail. Maybe your eyes are different than mine, maybe you do notice those things, I don't know. You can only speak for you, I can only speak for me. But also keep in mind, if you do drop it down to high, it's not like it suddenly becomes an ugly game. I think some people feel that if they're not playing at 150 frames per second on Ultra detail, that it's just not worth playing. I don't think that's true. The game still looks absolutely great on high detail. In fact, I don't think you're going to even notice the difference unless you stop and stare at the scenery. But how often do you do that? Most of the time you're actually playing the game, and you're not going to have the time to really sit there and stare at things to notice those detail differences. So dropping it down to high, it still looks great, still performs great on this computer. You could always, if you wanted to, upgrade the graphics card in the future, or if you're buying a different computer or building your own, this again is a good reference point as to what you need to meet your goals, whatever those goals may be. Now, Also, talking about the CPU, if you look in the top left corner, where it says CPU in blue, that is the overall usage of the 6-core 12 thread processor that we are using. Now, the computer sees it as a 12-core CPU, and so when that percentage, that overall usage percentage, gets to 50%, what it's saying is that it's using 6 cores. When it gets above 50%, now we're getting into the hyperthread, or the threading that Intel uses with their CPUs. And so it will bob up and down. It averages in the 30s, but there are times where the percentage will get up into the 40s, which means we're getting close to using 6 cores. And so basically what I'm saying is, would I play this game on a 4-core 4-thread processor? I mean, it would probably run, but I don't think it's going to run as well. I would recommend minimum a 4-core 8-thread processor. If you can go higher, 6 cores 12 threads, or even, for example, Ryzen 7 where it's 8 cores 16 threads, would all do great. There's still going to be some differences as far as the speed of the CPU, but as far as the cores and threads, that's what I would recommend. Additionally, in the top left corner, the 4th line down, that is the system RAM, not the VRAM, the actual system RAM in this computer. Again, it's 16 gigabytes of DDR4 2400, and you can see right now we're at 8 gigs of system RAM, and it does bob up and down depending on what's going on in the game. But keep in mind, I do not have anything else open running while I'm recording this. The only thing that's running is this game, and of course Windows is going to use some computer resources as well. But basically what I'm saying is, I wouldn't play these type of games or AAA titles with only 8 gigs of RAM. You can do it. I have access to a computer that does have only 8 gigs of RAM, and it does run this game, but it just runs better with that breathing room. You can see it does go above 8 gigs at some point, and so having that extra space where it can utilize more resources, the game is going to run better. It's going to be more responsive. And also, if you ever wanted to multitask, have something else running while you're playing this game, having that additional RAM will help, as well as it will affect your CPU as well. But the RAM does factor in also. And so I'm not going to talk during this entire video, but I do recommend that you at least watch as much of this as you can, so that way you can see when and where the frame rate dips. Also, you can skip ahead to see the difference as far as the different settings. But thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any comments, please post them down below, and I hope you have a wonderful and great day.
Readings indicate an echo nearby.
Hey, get up low! Hey, over here! I gotta do this. Fire in the hole! Damn. Stay out of the burn range!
We are all engulfed in potential at all times. Thank you for actualizing that just when we needed it. Over and out, Agent. Somebody's out there. You mean like help? Help me, please! No, stop!
Get us out of here, please! We'll do anything!
Let us out! Please! Let us out!
Echo available for playback nearby. You are now entering a safe area.
Been a while. Oh, thank you so much for this.
Hard contact at West 38th and 7th. Agents on site requesting immediate backup.
Warning, hostile forces approaching.
We've got incoming! We got out here!
forces approaching.
We've got incoming! Watch out! Here we
Thanks. We're short-staffed as it is. We can't afford to lose another patrol.
Glad you came along when you did. Hopefully that'll make him think twice about attacking another JTF patrol.
The billboards.
Data scanned. Downloading files.
The medical staff doesn't have a lot to work with. We're dangerously low on basic supplies like painkillers, so I've got a plan B here. There's a nurse I know. Used to know. He's got a reputation for knowing where to find hard stuff. And by find, I mean... who cares what I mean? Normally, I wouldn't make his acquaintance again, but turns out he's a resource and we need those meds badly. Find him. I'd start by checking his apartment.
I don't usually carry that kind of stuff.
Man, come on. We got water, we got food, we got batteries. Just bring me this stuff. It's all yours.
Okay, fine. Just meet me at the usual spot on West 39th.
Dispatch to division agents. Riker set up a roadblock on West 53rd and Broadway. We need to clear the road.
Damn, I love killing pigs.
GTF reinforcements requested. Warning, hostile forces approaching. Warning, hostile forces approaching. Warning, hostile forces approaching.
Thanks for clearing the road, Agent, and taking out the trash while you're at it.
Whoa, you
The
did
city's
some
lucky you're on our
serious
side.
work there.
Agent, people are being held hostage by some Rikers. Those are the facts. It's not my place to say if those hostages are distressed, excited, or relieved to be in such a place of danger. Nonetheless, we are suggesting you put an end to it for practical reasons. Agent, I got word from an informant that the cleaners had a binder with some useful information. Though, keep in mind the eye is really just an illusion of biology. The point is, we need information. I am but a conduit for the request.
I'm telling you, what I'm seeing here are the bravest men and women I've ever seen in my life. And we've all lost someone. But you're still willing to stand up and hear me out. And I've got one simple thing to tell you. One truth that the government refuses to recognize. The sick are already dead. The moment they get infected, they got a death sentence. The only thing they can do from there is spread the disease further. That's why we're standing here today, without our families, without our children. Because we understand what it's going to cost to save this city and this country, and we're willing to pay that price. Nobody else will, and people will die because of that. But you all, the ones making the hard choices right now, you ask me, you're all goddamn heroes.
This is a piece of cake. That ain't much of a contest now, is it? Don't let up. You gotta come on, I'm gonna leave you in pieces. Get off our turf. Those fuckers got him. contest now, is it? You can hide on any Blast that robot! Blast this fool!
Cleaners, look out!
Here we go! Yes!
You just keep shooting like that.
Shit, we've got cleaners.
I'm a target out here! We got cleaners.
Couldn't have done it
You
without
hadn't showed up, things might have gone very different. You hadn't showed up, things might have gone very different.
Thanks for your help there.
You hadn't showed up, things might have gone very different.
It ain't right. The billboard.
You're doing good work.
I am so touched.
I don't know what you did at the train yards, but it's made Candle happy. Keep up the good work.
You should have turned back! Shouldn't take second.
Yeah, it's me. I have no idea when they'll let me go home.
Are you at work? I think somebody's out there.
You mean like help?
Help me, please!
Better run fast.
Bring New York to its knees.
Grenade! God damn it! Say your prayers. Get this over with! Careful, guys!
Hey, it worked. We've got 3 pigeons trapped in that...
Shit, I think somebody's out there.
You mean like help? Agent, we've gotten word that there is a group of cleaners roaming the district with a leader by the name of Axel Wallace. That monster needs to manifest himself a bullet right in the brain. Sorry for my negativity, Agent. I need to clear my chakras.
Our job. It's nothing personal. We ought to figure out a way to make this better. We ought to be grateful for it. Got a problem here. Hey, they ought to... Do this quick! Yeah. Target's behind cover. You got a job to do.
I found the mother load. What? 8 sacks of Kenyan AA green dry. Can't be more than a couple of months old. Coffee beans. Are you insane? I know, right? I got a gas-fired air roaster, too. Come on, I know you like French roasts. How the fuck did you... No, never mind. I'll be right over.
They'll pack us when this is all over. Clean up over here. One over here. Get up! Got some dirt, boy. Get together.
We are so happy you manifested those cleaners right out of their reality.
It lasted forever. Like, way longer than it should have.
Warning. You are now leaving the safe area.
Ready to knock some heads.
Many thanks.
Good luck out there.
Glad you're okay.
Hey, watch your back, friend. A gang's just been by here.
Radio communication intercepted.
We can't trust these guys. I don't give a shit what you think. This deal is good for everyone. These weapons look... Shut it. We'll meet you on West 38.
GTF reinforcements requested. Warning, incoming hostiles.
Get them away from him!
Warning, hostile forces approaching.
You got it over with!
Warning, explosive device detected. Warning, hostile forces approaching. Warning, improvised explosive device detected. Warning, hostile forces approaching. Warning, explosive device detected.
Kill you.
Appreciate the assist, Agent. We've got it from here.
I think somebody...
Come take a look. Best deals in the city.
out there. You mean? So that little weasel picked a bunch of department stores to spread his little Black Friday surprise, and everyone knows Abel's. It might even be Amherst's Ground Zero. We need to find an original, unmutated strain of the virus to compare with the mutations our patients have. And the only place to find them is on the original bills tainted with the original virus. Which means we need you to head over to Abel's and bring back any tainted bills you can find.
Anybody got a count? That was awesome. Let's put him down. Watch out!
hadn't showed up, things might have gone very different.
I'm glad you showed up.
They don't give a damn about us.
I hope that's the JTF.
Gotta get through this. You looking for somebody?
Thank you.
Okay, Agent, you're looking for any bills our pal Amherst used to spread his original virus strain. We know he used Abel's as one of his primary launching pads, so with any luck, there should be plenty of contaminated greenbacks lying around in there.
As well as civilians. The store's one of the bigger refugee camps we've been monitoring.
Not to make a whole thing out of it, but if you don't find some unmutated virus I can use as a comp, we may as well give up any hope of creating a vaccine. So, you know, no pressure.
Warning. Temperature rising. Elevated levels of carbon dioxide detected.
Uh-oh. Sounds like there's a fire in the building. I'll start feeding Isaac the structural blueprints in case you need them.
Calculating route to emergency fire suppression system controls. Emergency fire suppression system activated. System obstructed on upper floors. Manual override required.
Great. You keep going. I'll keep digging through these schematics and tell Isaac where the overrides are.
Remember, Agent, you need to collect any bills you can find with the original virus strain.
Check everything. Cash registers, charity donation stations, tip jars in the cafe. Any place you can think of that might involve cash.
Jesus, what a nightmare.
Let's go, before those whack jobs find us.
Object test negative for viral contamination. Echo available for playback nearby. Readings indicate an echo nearby. Object test negative for viral contamination. Object test negative for viral contamination.
Might be carriers nearby. I got this. Got a problem here. Damn it. What is that? Focus, guys.
Alert. Potential hostiles approaching.
Let's hope the cleaners haven't torched everything in the place before you locate those bills.
Even if they haven't, extreme heat destroys DNA. Over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, the covalent bonds break down, and the double helix starts unzipping like a cheap prom dress.
One more reason to keep them at bay, Agent.
Like I said, no pressure.
Object test negative for viral contamination. Object test negative for viral contamination. Warning. Fire hazard detected.
According to the schematics, there should be an emergency override up ahead.
Warning. Increased viral contagion detected.
Bingo. That's gotta be our virus-infected bills somewhere nearby. Keep an eye out, but just don't lick them.
Warning. Fire hazard detected.
I found another manual override for the fire suppression system. Sending Isaac the location now.
Alert. Hostiles detected nearby.
Not to beat a dead horse, Agent, but I need those builds. Intact. And room temperature, no crispy edges. Crispy means heat, means off comes the prom dress.
And try not to get yourself killed in the process. Crispy Agent.
Warning. You are now entering a contaminated area. Warning. Viral contamination confirmed.
Keep your eyes peeled, Agent. We just got a report from JTF observers outside the building. More cleaners arrived while you were busy upstairs.
Give them a wide berth. I know I've said this before, but I need those builds in mint condition, so to speak.
Exiting the contaminated area.
The Lord is watching and he knows what you're doing.
God, what was that?
Recommend targeting portable chemical reservoir. Alert. Hostiles approaching. Alert. Hostiles approaching.
I'm impressed, Agent. Locating undamaged builds with original strain virus in that place was like looking for needles in a haystack. But damned if you didn't pull it off. I can't wait to get my hands on them. Oh, and Agent, I'm buying the next round. Assuming there ever is one. Thank you, Agent. That strain sample you secured told us a lot. I've prepared a report for posterity and the DCD.
My wife said
Have a look.
tanzanite. Is that something you carry? Oh my god, tell me you don't love this watch. I dare you.
I'm so sorry. My credit card is on the fritz.
Not a problem. This is yours and $9.20 in change.